Must be tough if you're Trevor Bauer, trying to make a comeback. We've already touched on this a little bit over the course of the offseason. But the recent development with his situation is that he made an appearance for the Asian Breeze.
Can someone fill me in on what that is?
Yes, I have it right here. It's an independent travel team that helps players get recognized by scouts by having them play against minor league players from Major League Baseball teams.
So it's specific to that.
Correct.
That makes sense because he carved, didn't he?
Ironically, against the Dodgers, yeah, he went 3 shut, striking out 4. I think he loaded the bases early, but got out of it. So all in
the
all,
upper 90s too.
I think he topped out at 99 is what I read.
Yeah,
but it's against, like I said, it's against minor leaguers. Not to take anything away from him. It was his in the articles I was reading. They made sure to mention that this was his first game, if you will, on American soil since ultimately getting blackballed from the league a while back. But
dang, my tinfoil hat's gone. I won't reveal names, but we had a group chat going a couple months ago saying that this girl that exploited and like went to trial with him and all this stuff was like a Manfred plant because of how he was attacking Rob Manfred and attacking his, commissioning. Is that proper language? Probably not.
Let's go with it.
I don't like him. I'm not a fan of his. He annoys me.
You could apply that to Trevor Bauer and Rob Manfred, but I think we're talking
both
about
of them.
Trevor Bauer.
But you're telling me there isn't a rotation that could use this right now? You're like, come on. There's something, there's this. I think that's why he's so vocal. I think that's why he's like so in your face social media wise, because it's like he's forcing their hand. He's going everywhere and showing everyone that I still got it. And the fact that I'm not getting calls is a bigger issue and has more to do with this dictator sitting in the commissioner's suit. I'll buy that conspiracy.
It's a lot of backlash, man. I'm telling you. Like, say which we've talked about it, and it's been addressed by many outlets, many talking heads. We're not sharing anything you don't already know. We know how it panned out in the judicial system.
Yep.
Like, we understand that. But it's clear that teams don't really care.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, and
I just can't chalk it up to only public relations being the issue.
I think you can.
I don't think it can be the only one. Because winning cures all. Winning will cure all.
Yeah, but you have to get through the noise first to get to a point where you're winning. And I don't know if teams look at this and go, we can weather the storm long enough, because that's going to be a heck of a storm. And I think, to be fair to these front offices and these owners or whoever's making the final shot, or the final call on whether or not to sign this guy, credit to them. They're probably having discussions behind closed doors going, everyone in this room knows what happened legally in terms of the outcome and the result and all that judicially. But there are a lot of dumb baseball fans out there who maybe lack a lot of awareness, or at least enough awareness to maybe do a little bit of their own research and find out how it actually happened, how it panned out. And instead are just going to fall back on this guy's a rapist and he's gross and he's sick, and I don't want him anywhere near my favorite team's clubhouse. There's a lot. Again, I'm not generalizing. I'm not sweeping all of these baseball fans under the same rug here. But I think we've all had those water cooler conversations at work. We've all been in those group texts where people throw out some asinine takes on stuff like this, where you go, it's very clear that you have no clue as to what actually happened and whether or not
Yeah,
this guy
for
is
sure.
is is technically guilty of what he's being accused of. They
I
just look
know.
at it and go, this guy is gross, he's a rapist, I want nothing to do with him. And that's that. And these owners and front offices have to take that into account and go, again, we know what happened, but these fans are choosing not to believe anything, or they're not even aware of the outcome.
I
And
know,
so
I
we have to
get
work
it.
through that.
But there's so many occurrences of PR issue players getting a second chance. Like Daryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden having cocaine issues. I
Right.
mean, you have this long list of steroid users that got hounded. And
Yeah.
like
But in those scenarios, drugs were rampant. Like steroids were rampant. In
yeah.
this day and age,
We
in
still have
today's,
domestic violence stuff with history of a lot of players.
sure, but you have like a couple things you got to take into account here. One, the heightened awareness and attention given to that very issue. Like women, like I don't want to get too deep into it, but like the Me Too movement and all that's like a lot has happened in the last
Yeah.
decade plus with
Is
these
this
types of things. But
is
hold
this
on, I'll just finish my
stink?
thought.
All
I'll
right.
just finish my thought. With those guys that you mentioned, you could, for all intents and purposes, you could round them out with the issue, fill in the blank, whatever it is, drugs, steroids, whatever. You could kind of put a bow around that and say that's how you're being defined. With Trevor Bauer, you have to think he has this. He has his issues with Manfred. He has the drone issue. He has spouting off on YouTube. He has just the arrogance that not a lot of people like. It turns a lot of people off. There's just so much more. He's too multi-dimensional when it comes to negativity, and I don't think that these front offices are going to want to put up with that. And it's clear to this point that nobody has taken that step forward to say we will.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, do you think this stink is stinkier and more lingering than the Astros? Than the scandal, than the cheating, than the I mean, like,
No, but I mean, as we all know, Manfred even said it himself, didn't handle that the best way, and
yeah,
people still let the guys that were, I mean, who are we kidding? Not only the guys that were involved, but the guys that are on the team now that weren't even in the organization at the time, they get their earful. So I tell you, man, baseball fans don't let you forget. If they don't
yeah.
like you and they're stuck in their ways, they're not changing their mind, they're going to let you know about it. And I think that's what's happening with Trevor Bauer here.
It's hard to imagine you throwing 100 and not getting a shot.
That's where we are, man. That's where we are with society and the fear of blowback on something like this.
Yeah,
And and again, I want to speak for both of us here. We've addressed both sides of this. Like we understand that like
yeah,
there is an inherent risk there, regardless
for
the
sure.
outcome. Like there's just to use your word, there's kind of a stink around it. But on the other side, you have to look at the facts of the case and go, is no team going to give this guy a shot?
Yeah,
Is this it for him? Have we gotten to the end of the road for Trevor Bauer in Major League Baseball? I don't know. And if he
I mean,
doesn't get his shot, how does he ride this out? Does he run it back? Does he try to let it air out another year and make another attempt in 2025? I would venture to say probably yes, because it's Trevor Bauer.
This, I mean, it gives me Colin Kaepernick vibes. You know what I mean? Like Kaepernick is still trying to send messages out. He haven't
Yeah.
played in like 6 years. So I think this is going to be around for a while.